as the title says, my God and my infertility. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today is another different video. Wanted to talk about something that has really been on my heart lately, something I've been thinking about a lot, and I wanted to do more videos again on this topic. So, as the title says, I want to talk about my faith and how it has influenced the way I've dealt with infertility and how I see infertility through that perspective of my faith. So we are going to talk about, like the title says, my God and my infertility. So I think this is probably a really controversial topic to blend the two, but I feel like they go really hand in hand. So it's not a secret that I'm a Christian. I talk about God all the time. I am super open about it, and I'm very, very passionate about it. I feel very strongly about what I believe. And I think a lot of people, through me showing the pain of going through infertility, finding out my numbers and all of that we went through, might think I look like I have no hope. I look like I have probably no perspective, and I just feel really, really down about it. And I also wanted to use this video to kind of counteract that and show the other side of what I feel going through that journey. So by sharing some of the stories of infertility in the Bible, there are actual stories of infertility in the Bible, and not all of it is punishment. So in Genesis 16, it talks about Sarah and Hagar, or Sarai, Abraham's wife, and Hagar, who was one of their servants. And it talks about a little later, for the Lord had closed all the wombs of the house. Then in 21, the Lord visited Sarah as he had said, and the Lord did to Sarah as he had promised. And Sarah conceived and bore Abraham a son in his old age, at the time of which God had spoken to him. There's also Rebecca, also in Genesis, that kind of goes through the same thing. There's examples of prayer about that infertility where they're really struggling and they go to God and cry out, and there's a lot of encouragement in that, and there's a lot of different ways of interpreting that. To say God closed their womb sounds really harsh, and I think I've probably showed a lot of the pain of infertility and how hard it can be. There's also a lot of hope and encouragement in having faith in God while going through infertility. I think there was a lot of chance for growth for me to embrace whatever God's plan was. Whether it be me giving birth or not, whether it be me naturally somehow conceiving or not, and if he was gonna perform that miracle for me and fix it so we could naturally have children, I wanted to be okay with however he decided to do that, however he decided to give us children, however he had his plan set up for us. And I wanted to be open to any of it, and I didn't want to look at it as settling. There is a lot of pressure put on to be able to perform in that way, and I know I put some of that on myself. What really helped me, and why I'm calling this video My God, My Infertility, is how intensely God met me in that, and he was super faithful as I was going to him in prayer about it, as I was processing it and trying to figure out how I really could get through this, because it's really painful. It is very painful to find out that you can't when it's something you really want to. And that, I think, is even more painful just because it's such a personal thing, being able to have kids, and whether or not you can really affect you. And it can bring up a lot of situations that are hard to get through. People asking questions, people making comments, people having a judgment as to what you guys should do, how you should handle it, what choice you should make, and it's just not an easy thing. But the way I got through it was by going to God and by going to Andrew and by us processing it and by really praying about it and asking God to help me see it His way, to help me see the bigger picture, and to help me figure out how to embrace what He did have coming. I had really not felt right about having a perspective that He wasn't really doing anything to help me if He wasn't going to just fix it. Or if He had something else, it was settling. And I just did not want to be in that place. And I did eventually find my way out of that. Not that it's not painful, not that I don't still have moments where I'm looking at all of the pregnancy announcements on Facebook and it doesn't affect me at all. I have to admit I'm not to that point. But I got to a place where I could embrace our story and be proud and happy of our story. Not feel bad about it, not feel deficient because I couldn't, and not look at it as a negative, but look at it as that's just not what He has. And even trying to embrace what I thought He might be having for us, I had not been closed off to adoption, but I had seen it as a second choice. So if I had my absolute first choice, it would be, now that we know our situation, IVF with egg donation, I kind of started to feel a little differently, that maybe that just wasn't the story He had for us, because we were talking about things that were going on. We were talking about what we actually might be able to do. It got difficult. There's just too big of obstacles to be able to do that feasibly anytime soon. Not that we are rushing to adopting, but just that I had opened my eyes to the bigger picture and had been able to see what God was doing and is doing, and not just focusing on that one little thing that I really, really needed Him to do. So it changed my perspective. It changed how I saw what was going on, and it changed kind of how I approached processing it, because it no longer felt like this huge negative. It felt like a change of direction. And while I can't deny that it's a painful thing, I definitely got healing through going to God about it and going through it with Him. And we are so blessed with everybody we have around us. We have an amazing family that has been super supportive with us finding everything out. And I could not imagine a better husband for God to have given me to go through all of this with. It just made me super grateful, and it just changed how I saw it completely. And while it is still hard, it's a hard thing, and I still don't know what's gonna happen. I still have no clue where things are going in a lot of areas of our life right now. I feel a little bit better about it, knowing that God is in control of it. And that's kind of why I named this video My God and My Infertility, because I do believe He set that in place. I believe He gave me Turner syndrome for a reason, and not to say that He's punishing me or giving me intentional bad things. It's more He set things how He wanted them. Before we found everything out, Andrew was very much like, well, but God can do anything. And I said, yeah, but what if He's already told us His plan by me having Turner syndrome? Like, what if that was His answer for us and for me? Was He already set that in motion and already stopped it because He has a different plan for us? And I wanted to be open to that and not feel bad about it. I wanted to be able to look at it and not just have it be this huge dark cloud over my life and over everything. And I was able to get to a different side of that and kind of look at it as this is God's plan for my life and not my own. And I have always said, when it came to this, when it came to me and Andrew, when it's come to us figuring things out in our life, that whatever He has for us is gonna be good. Like, it's gonna be what satisfies that the most, and it's something I can't even picture right now. It's a plan I would never be able to think of. And that part of it is very exciting to me. Being able to watch God work in that way and being able to embrace it and not feel deficient because of it or broken because of it or like I'm doing something wrong in some way. I don't see it as a punishment. I don't see Turner syndrome as a punishment. I see it simply that's how He made me. and he had intentions with it. Now I just have to do my part. So along those lines of doing my part, I have been wanting to do more infertility videos again, just because I got so much information and I wanted to share that. So I really want to know what you guys want to see, what information you guys want me to share, what stories you want to hear, or just any of those kind of video ideas, what you might want to see, what would be helpful, and maybe even some videos on adoption, because we have not chosen. I cannot answer if we're going to adopt first or do IVF with egg donation first, or when we're doing whichever one we're doing first at all. I have no answers for any of that. But I got so much information, I really want to use it to help others and encourage others, and that's kind of why I started documenting it in the first place. Wasn't just so I could look back on it, but so it had purpose to it. I know God gives me stories for a reason. God gave me my story for a reason, and I don't want to not use it. So please comment down below what you guys would like to know, what you would like to see, what would be helpful, and what I can maybe share that would be of some use. So I really hope this video encouraged you guys in some way. I know everybody doesn't have that faith. Not everybody is a religious person, but I thought maybe at least having perspective on it would be useful. And I hope you learned something. I hope I was able to encourage you, and I hope this helped you in some way. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, and give it a thumbs up and comment if you want to see more of these videos, and share it with everybody. Get the conversations going and get information out there, get encouragement out there. And if you are not already subscribed, click the screen and subscribe, and then you can continue to follow our journey, see other videos, and I will see you guys in that one. Bye!